All right, Larry Krueger from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little San Francisco Giant video, as we have a pretty interesting rumor surrounding the Giants that we will hit coming up next. But first, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. This video is also brought to you by Mancini's Sleep World. Mancini's is a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. They offer a 120-night guarantee with a range of brands and price points. With Mancini's, you get free next-day delivery. Man, I'm loving my Mancini's bed. Click the link below or go to sleepworld.com and find a bed that works for you. Whether you shop online or visit in-store, use that code KRUG10, and you're going to get 10% off just because you know me. KRUG10, K-R-U-E-G 10, to get 10% off in any of Mancini's stores or online at sleepworld.com. All right, well, the offseason continues in Major League Baseball, and there was an interesting article today saying that the Giants might have interest in Ha-Seong Kim, who's a free agent. Giants have made some key moves. Back in December, they signed Willie Adames to a 7-year, $182 million contract. They signed the veteran right-hander Justin Verlander to a 1-year deal for $15 million. But they're nowhere near contention. I mean, the Giants, last time they hit the playoffs was 2021 when they won 107 games and they won the NL West title. The Giants currently, the Vegas over-under on the Giants is 79.5. So they don't even think the Giants are a 500 team. The betting public is not thinking the Giants are a 500 team. So what does that mean? Does that mean how's this year going to go for the Giants? And I'm not really sure. They definitely could use some more pitching. But, man, they really need a lot more help on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, they really, the Giants need to swing the bat a whole lot better if they're going to be a contender for anything this year. It's really as simple as that. I mean, they're gonna have to hit. If they don't hit, they're not going to be a good baseball team because they lost Snell to the Dodgers. They didn't get Sasaki. They've got some young arms that are pretty intriguing, but now the talk of Ha-Seong Kim, and Ha-Seong Kim is an interesting player. Now, he had off-season shoulder surgery, and so he's a free agent. He's recovering from shoulder surgery. The talk is that he for sure is going to miss the start of the 2025 season, and that's why there hasn't been more interest around him. But the Giants are still interested in signing him. And, this guy's won a Gold Glove. He's a pretty good offensive player. And, he's tight with Jung-Hoo Lee. And I think Ha-Seong Kim would be a really nice addition for the Giants. He's 25. He's not old. This last year, he had a good year. He really did. I mean, 233 is not great, but 11 home runs, 22 stolen bases, 330 on base. Those are good numbers right there. So, and, this is a guy that has a lot of talent. He came to the big leagues in 2021. He's hit as many as 17 homers in a season, hit 17 in 2023, has driven in as many as 60 RBIs in a season, has stolen as many as 38 bases. I mean, that's what I really am excited about, is that he could give the Giants an injection of speed. And let's be honest. I mean, you look around the diamond, you got Chapman at third. You got a brand new shortstop in Adames. You have Tyler Fitzgerald as kind of a jack of all trades who can play everywhere, but you don't really have an everyday second baseman. Tyro Estrada signed with Colorado. He moved on. So you put a guy like Ha-Seong Kim out there, you're getting him. This will be his age 29 season. So he's in the prime of his career. He's a 242 lifetime hitter, hit as high as 260. The on base, though, is pretty good. I mean, he had a 351 on base in 2023. That's anything over 350 is a really, really good number. He won the Gold Glove. He finished 14th in the MVP voting in 2023. I mean, he wasn't going to win the MVP, but 260, 351 on base, 749 OPS, the highest of his career. It's like this guy can play both sides of the bag. I mean, he can play short, he can play second, and he's a good player. He's a good player. He's in his prime. He's coming off an injury, so you can get a pretty good bargain on him right now. But I think this would be a really nice addition for the Giants if they could get Ha-Seong Kim. They need another player to round out, that infield, and to add another great defensive player would be fantastic. And just the fact that the Giants are listed by some as the favorites to sign Kim is intriguing. So I don't know. I mean, he was exceptional in 2023. No question about it. He was outstanding. And then he ended up having surgery on his shoulder at the end of the season this year because he had a bunch of issues with the shoulder, and that's obviously impacted his market. If he didn't have shoulder issues, I don't think he would. I think there'd be more teams interested. He probably already would have been signed. So the Athletic reported that the Giants had interest, and this was at the start of the offseason. This was before they made the huge Willie Adames signing. The beautiful part about a guy like Kim is, he played shortstop in 2024, but he's flexible. He can play. He's a utility Gold Glove winner. That's what he is. And he adds value defensively anywhere he plays. He has over 500 innings at third base in his career. He's had over 1,000 innings playing second base. He's played 2,500 innings at shortstop. The Giants, they have the nice thing about this move is it gives you a little bit more flexibility around the diamond. If you do have injuries, or let's just say you got to spring training and Tyler Fitzgerald just was ripping and looking amazing. You could play Tyler Fitzgerald every day at second base, or you could play Tyler Fitzgerald in the outfield, or you could use one of these guys as a DH. And the one thing that Bob Melvin has expressed is that he would like the flexibility to be able to use a number of different guys in that DH spot. This is a good player who's versatile. And if you look around, the Giants have Brett Wisely, the Giants have Casey Schmidt. Those guys are good in-house options. I don't know that either Wisely or Schmidt have really proven that they're major league hitters yet, but they might. You might get to spring training and Casey Schmidt may be ripping it. But you know what? The real reason the Giants can never be a playoff team in recent years is just they're not deep enough. They're not deep enough. If they were a deeper baseball team, they would have a better chance of playing in October. I think Kim is a really good player. He's got a great batting eye, really good batting eye, which is why he's got a good on-base percentage. He's a 96th percentile walk rate guy, 98th percentile chase rate. He doesn't hit the ball hard all the time. He's got a 4.8% barrel rate. That was definitely bottom fifth of the league in 24. And that was a career high for him. He did have career highs in exit velo and hard hit percentage. But he only had a 352 X slug and only a 107 X ISO. So you look at some of the numbers and they're not great. But it's funny. A lot of people thought he was going back to San Diego or back to the Padres, and Jim Bowden actually predicted that as well, that the Padres badly need his glove. But this guy played well at shortstop. And so, the Padres are they got an ownership dispute. They've got a lot of uncertainty down there. There was a lot of talk maybe the Yankees would have some interest in Kim. So, but then, I'm not sure if they're still interested. Their main weakness, the Yankees' main weakness, has been at third base, which is probably the weakest of Ha-Seong Kim's defensive positions. They did add Jazz Chisholm there, but the Yankees could have some interest. Seattle could have some interest. Toronto could have some interest. But this guy's a potential all-star, and I really think he's a great fit. He gets along great with Jung-Hoo Lee. I like Kim. Kim to me gives you a tough at bat. He's a really tough at bat. He knows the zone. He's a smart player. I think he's really underrated. I'd love to see him. Now, I know Fitzgerald could bust out, or maybe Casey Schmidt could show up and bust out, and then you don't have a place. Then technically you've blocked Casey Schmidt or Tyler Fitzgerald. And I understand there some Giants fans would push back on a Ha-Seong Kim addition because they don't want to block second base for, KC or anybody else coming up through that system. But I just think the lack of depth is really has bothered the Giants. And you have a couple injuries, and suddenly this incredible depth that you have has just been depleted. So I love the idea of taking Ha-Seong Kim and adding him to the Giants. I think that if you probably could get a little bit of a bargain of a deal because he's not healthy right now. But this is a typical buy low potential, real advantage on the back end. I mean, yes, you're going to get this guy for a lower price because of his current physical situation, but eventually he's going to get healthy, and you're adding a really good infielder, and a guy who can be a good offensive player for you as well. So I like it. I really like it. He's not gonna win batting titles. It's not like, this is not an awesome offensive player, but what it is a good all-around player who's in the prime of his career. And the Giants need more players in the prime of their career if they want to contend in the National League West. So I love it. I love that idea. Bring Ha-Seong Kim to the Giants. Leave your comments in the area below. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of The Krug Show. Thanks to Mancini's for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.